Now what we've done so far is we've created a variable here called D. After we create this variable D, we set it equal to a new date. What this part, this new date right here does, all it does is it grabs the current date and time. And so if we just like console.log just that part, I'm going to delete this for a second so you know what's happening. When I type in console.log, what that does is it just prints out whatever is inside the console.log and it prints it out down here in the terminal. So if I look what happens when I print this out, let's take a look at it. What's that? It basically takes it and just prints it out right here just like this. Do you see that? So if I save this and I run the command node, and then this is in a folder called arrays, right? And it's a file called practice.js. So if I say node arrays/practice.js, and I do that, it'll print out this right here. Exactly what's going on. ToString. It prints it out as a string, which tells you that it's Friday, November 30th, 2018. But this is a string. I turn it into a string. And remember that strings are just words surrounded by quotation marks. So this is what a string is. It's a bunch of words surrounded by either double or single quotation marks. So that's basically all that is stored inside of D. However, this will change depending on what time it is, what day it is, what year it is, what month it is, etc., etc. Whenever we run this code, it'll grab the current date and time of exactly right now. Our job is to turn that into something that we can use, something that's useful. Here's how we do that. Are you ready? We're going to split this string that looks like this. We're going to split it every time we come across a space. So when I see that space right there, that space right there, that space right there, there, and there, I want to split the string right there and put it into an array. To do that, we're going to say var darray is equal to d.split every time I see a space. And then I'm going to console.log what that is. And I'm going to save this and I'm going to run it again and let's see what it looks like now. Okay, cool. I have two different things going on here. The first thing is I get my old console.log statement, which tells me what the date is, Friday, November 30th, 2018. And then I get an array that contains each of the items every time I split this string, every time I see a space. Space, space, space. So it sees the space and it puts Friday as the first item in the array. If I want to store that item in a variable, what can I write here? How do I get the very first item out of a variable? So I'm going to say var weekday is equal to... Well, if I just want to say, what is the index of the very first thing in an array? 0. What's the name of the array? It's called darray. So if I say var weekday equals d array brackets 0, like this, and I console.log that, it should print out, what do I expect it to print out? Which is what? Friday. So let's see if our code works. Are you ready? We run our code, we expect to see Friday at the bottom. Do we? Yes. Yes, amazing. So it worked. We were able to get the first item from the array, which was Friday. Now what if I want to get the month? I can say var month equals, what should I write here? darray, the name of the array, followed by what, Vanessa Guzman? 1. Perfect. So do you see that? What happens here is that I just look in the array at each position and I try and store it in its own variable. The reason why I do that is because we're going to use those numbers to figure out how long it is until the weekend, how long it is until school is out, how long it is until something. That sort of makes sense? So now let's console.log that, make sure it's there. Console.log the month, and let's see what we get. If I run this code again, I should see, and I do, it says Friday and then November. So that's the month. What's the next thing I want? Well, let's look at what our app is supposed to make. We have to store the day, the month, and the year in variables, and the minutes and the hours and the seconds in variables. So the last thing I need to do is I need to store the year in variable. So var year equals, and what should I put here? D-array, good. Square brackets, good. And what number goes in here? Close. It's going to be 3. Now, why is it 3? Well, look at what position 2018 is in. This is at index 0, Friday. November is at index 1. 30 is at index 2. So 2018 is at index 3. So I put 3 in here. 2 would be the day 30th. We're not actually going to use that in this app, but you could potentially use it in a different app. You might want to use it for something else, but we don't actually need it. So check this out. Each of these items in the array come in a specific order, right? We're not going to, we could. You want to store it? We could. It's up to you. The less code we have to write, the better. If you want to write more code to get it, you would do it like this. You would say var day number or something is equal to d array 2, like that. And that'll get this number 30. So you could hold that too. But right now I'm just going to move on to year. And I'm going to say console.log the year. And if I do that, I should expect to see 2018 at the bottom. Do I see 2018 at the bottom? Yeah. Cool. So we've now done 2 parts of our app. We have grabbed the current date and time of right now, and we have put the month in a variable, the weekday in a variable, and the year in a variable. So we have all the things we need for day, month, and year. So now the last thing we need to do for this app is get the hours, the minutes, and the seconds. And this part's actually the hardest part. Exactly. The reason why, Valino, is because they're all together. Look at this next one. You see that? So we need to figure out how to handle that next. So let's do it together. How do I get the hours, the minutes, and the seconds from this array? I'm going to call it var hour min sec. And I'm going to set it equal to what? D array, and then what position is that thing at? 4. Position number 4. It's the index of 4. Because it goes 0, 1, 2, 3, and then 4. Kabam! This is exactly what we're going to do next. But we've already stored it in a variable called hours, minutes, seconds, right? So if we console.log that, let's see what it looks like. If I run my code, I see that it stores the hours, the minutes, and the seconds like that. But what is wrong with the way they store the hours, minutes, seconds? It's all together. What is the hours, minutes, and seconds separated by? The colon. Exactly right, Vanessa. So now, what code do I have to run to split the string every time I see a colon? Let's do it. We'll say var time array equals hour, minutes, seconds, and then what do we run at the end of it? Dot split, and then what do I split every time I see a what? Colon. Exactly. Now the reason why is because what this does right here, Valino, is it goes into hours, minutes, seconds, and when it sees that first colon, it splits it right there. And then when it sees that second colon, it splits it right there. And so when I do this, I should be able to now get the hours, the minutes, and the seconds from this time array. So I'm going to console.log the time array so we can see what that looks like too. It will take out the colons. Very good question. So if I run this right here, let's take a look at it. You ready? Ooh, check that out. That makes my life so much easier. It's now split the time into an array where what is the first item in the array? The hours. Yeah, 21 hours. It's military time. What's the second item in the array? The minutes. Exactly. And what's the last item in the array? The seconds. Fantastic. So if you do it like that, all you have to do left is store those in variables. So we'll say var hours equals, what do I put here? Time array, brackets, 0. And that'll grab the hours from right there. How about the minutes? What do I put here? 1. And the seconds? Boom. Oh, god dang. So now, what we have done together is we have grabbed the number of hours, the number of minutes, and the number of seconds from our date. We have also grabbed the day, the month, and the year. By storing this information in variables, we can do cool little things with it that basically will make our app work. The first thing I want to do is I want to figure out how much time left until school is out. Are you ready? To do that, we need to first look at when does school get out and what is the current time right now. But what's my problem that we talked about before? This time comes in Greenwich Mean Time, and we actually live on Pacific Standard Time. So we have to take the number of hours, and what does Google say about the difference between Greenwich Mean Time and Pacific Time? It's 8 hours ahead. So we need to take the number of hours that this gives us and subtract 8 from it. Is that cool? So to do that, we come in here, and we need to turn hours into a number. So I actually have to put this function around it that turns a string into a number. Because right now, you see how it has quotations around it? We want to turn it into a number. So we want to get rid of those quotations. To do that, we just surround it with the number function. And the number function turns all of these strings into numbers. And so now we can do some cool math with it. We can just say this minus 8. And we should have the proper hours that we need to do our math. So what time is it right now? Can someone give me the exact time? It's 1:37, right? So if I console.log hours and minutes, it should say 1:37. Console.log hours plus a colon plus minutes, and let's see what time it says. Okay, 13:38, and 13 is 1 past 12, and so in military time, it is 1:38. So it worked. Did our little thing work? Yes, sir. See, Devaney? I got you, my boy. Now, the last thing I want to do before I let you go free is calculate how long left until school is out. Are you ready? To do that, we need to know at what time does school get out? 3:30. Convert 3:30 to military time. Close? 15:30. That's right. So, we can say, if we do console.log hours, or 15, minus hours, that'll tell us how many hours are left until school is out. Okay? So we'll say, or let's make a variable. That'll be easier to do. Let's just make a variable. We'll say var time, or hours left, is equal to hours, or 15 minus hours, which is going to tell us how much time is left in school. And then we'll console.log there are plus hours left plus hours in school. So I'll save this, I'll run it, let's see what it says here. There are 2 hours left in school. Does our app work? Yes. Yep, our app now tells us how many hours are left until you're done with school. Now I didn't do minutes with you, I didn't do seconds with you, because it's a little bit confusing. But that is exactly what I'm going to be asking you guys to do for your project. Oh, hell no. I know. Now, if you're scared about how to do this and you think it's hard, it's okay because we're going to be working in partners. Not only that, but I have made, if you look in your Period 6 channel, I'm going to be putting in 3 PowerPoint slides that walk you through all the things you need to do to be able to solve this challenge. There are 3 PowerPoint slides. Each of them, they're called the Unit 2 Performance Task, Part 1, Part 2, and Part 3. And we're going to go over each one every day of next week until you have finished your application. But I'm also going to put them all in Slack so that you can look at them as you do the project today. Is that cool with everybody? So, that is all for me for today. That's pretty much everything I need to teach you. If you have any questions, let me know, but I'm going to set you up in groups right now, and we're going to start on our project. Cool? I will send everything in Slack right now just to get you started.